In this video, I'm going to be showing you materials needed to cut and sew a wedding dress like this particular one that you are seeing on your screen. There are different materials you need for different kinds of wedding dress, but if you are sewing a wedding dress like this that is showing on your screen, or a wedding dress that is similar to something that you are seeing on your screen, I'm going to be showing you materials that you'll be needing for such kind of wedding dress. The materials that you basically need to buy at the market for you to be able to cut and sew such kinds of wedding dress. So firstly, you are going to be needing these beads or pearls. These beads are the ones I used at the back because I made this dress and this is the outcome. This is the one that I made. So these beads are what I used at the back as button. There are two kinds of these beads. There is the one that does not have hole inside it, and there's another one with hole inside it. For this project, you're going to be needing the one that has hole inside it because you need to tack it at the back of your dress. And again, there are different sizes of these beads. You just need to pick the size that works best for you. This is the medium size. I used this medium size, and like I said earlier, make sure that the bead you are getting is the one that has hole inside so that you can tack it on your dress. The next material you will need is this cord rope. There are two kinds of this cord rope. There is a stretchy one and there's another one that is not stretchy. This particular one is stretchy, so make sure you go for the one that is stretchy so that whenever you use the small length, it can be able to stretch for these beads that are using as the button to pass through. So you'll be needing beads and then you'll be needing cord rope. Like I said, be mindful of the fact that you have to buy beads that has hole in between so that you can tack it. Now the next is this SB zip. This is this SB zip, SBS zip. This is the big invisible zip. Is not like the other one. This one, the invisible part is outside. It's a bit pricey. I got one of this zip for 1000 naira, whereas the other one is just 200 or 2 or 300 naira thereabout. But this particular one is 1000 naira. Is finer, especially if you want your dress to be neat. Now, this is the main fabric I used. I use this chantilly lace. This chantilly lace is not that cheap, but it's quite affordable and is very, very beautiful. Like, it's a bit stretchy. There are stretchy ones, there are the ones that are not stretchy. I would advise that if you are sewing this particular kind of wedding dress, you take the one that is stretchy so that it can just hold the person firmly, like it will just sink into the person's body. Like, look at this net on the hand. It's so beautiful. All you have to do is just to cut out that small net at the tip so that you can get the, like, you can make the maximum use of the edge. Once you use soldering iron or you use scissors to cut out that net part neatly, then the edge will be revealed and it's so beautiful. This net is perfect for a wedding dress like this. Then the quantity you need depends on how full you want your wedding dress to be. For this particular wedding dress that I made that you're currently seeing on your screen, I used 7 yards. And this is for not too chubby. This person's hip is 46. So this is for someone that has hip of 46. So it depends on how full you want yours to be. For me, I bought 7 yards of this chantilly and it was perfectly okay for me. My name is Oluwatosin. In case this is the first video of mine that you are coming across, and please do well to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified next time I upload a new video on this channel, because on this channel I upload amazing cutting and sewing tutorials. And to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for being here once again. So aside all these materials that I've mentioned that you'll be needing to cut and sew a wedding dress like what you saw on your screen earlier, another material that you'll be needing is lacquer, because for the inner of this dress there's a skin tone lacquer. The shade of the lacquer depends on the shade of whoever you are sewing for. I mean the complexion, like the color of whoever you are sewing for. For this particular lacquer that I found at the market, it has two faces, and these two faces, they are useful. It's not like the wrong side or the right side. One face is darker than the other. So this particular lacquer that I bought can work for two different complexions. If the one you can get at the market is just the one that has one face, is fine. Just make sure that the lacquer, the shade of lacquer that you are picking, blends perfectly with the skin tone, the complexion of whoever you're making the wedding dress for. So you'll be needing this lacquer. In place of this lacquer, you can also use a crepe, a skin tone crepe. But if the wedding dress you're making does not have like a bustier or a cup or corset or whatever inside, you can just go for this lacquer to make it easier for you. But if you want your wedding dress to have bustier or you want it to have corset inside or you are padding it, you should use crepe. It's a bit firm. It will not stress you as much as this lacquer will still stress you if you are trying to use it to sew a corset. So this my own does not have a corset inside. I just made a singlet, like a very flowing A-shaped singlet. I'll be uploading tutorials on how I made the inner and the wedding dress itself soon after this video. Just stay tuned so that you get all of the updates. That's why you have to subscribe if you've not subscribed and turn on the notification bell so that once I drop these tutorials, you are going to be notified. Now, the one I made, look at it on my bride, you would not know that there is no corset or bustier or whatsoever kind of pad inside. You can see that it is standing very, very well. Like the bust region is fitted on the person. I'm going to be uploading tutorial soon. So you can use this lacquer to sew your inner if you are not going to put breast pad or to not have corset at all. You can use this lacquer. Just make sure that the lacquer you are getting, the shade is the same shade with the person's complexion. But if you are going to pad it, like I said earlier, please make sure that you are using crepe. It will be a lot easier for you to work with. If at this point you are still with me and you've not subscribed, please kindly subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that once I upload a new tutorial on this channel, you are going to be notified. Now, aside all these materials that I've mentioned, another material that you'll be needing, this is completely optional. This next material is optional. It depends on how you want the back of your wedding dress to be. For the back of mine, I used tulle. I used tulle at the back. I used a plain tulle which I beaded. I'm going to be putting the video up here. So you might be needing this tulle to make a wedding dress like this if you want the back to be like the back of this mine that I made that you're currently seeing on your screen. So you might be needing this tulle and you might be needing the small sizes of bead. Aside the big bead that I mentioned earlier, you might also be needing the small sizes of beads if you are using tulle and you don't want that tulle. If you're using this net and you don't want that net to just be plain like that, you might be needing the small beads. I actually got two sizes of the small beads aside the big beads that I used as the button. I also got two sizes of the small beads, and that is what you're currently seeing on the back of this dress. I didn't buy the net on the back of this dress beaded. I bought a plain net like this and then I beaded it to my taste, to my satisfaction. But for this kind of beads, you are buying the beads that does not have hole. I mentioned earlier that for the bigger beads that you're using at the back as button, you have to buy beads that have hole so that you can pass your needle through and tack on the back of your dress. For these smaller beads that you're using to beautify or to bead this particular plain net, you are buying smaller beads and you're buying the beads that have pin, that does not have hole, that you will use machine to attach to your net by yourself. I hope my explanation is clear. So definitely you also be needing thread. That is obviously non-negotiable. So you also be needing white thread to stitch together. You also be needing that nude, like skin color thread, like the nude shade of your crepe or of your lycra that you're using thread. These are the basic measurements that you need to get when you want to cut and sew a wedding dress like this particular one that you are seeing on your screen. I hope this video has been helpful to someone out there. If it has been helpful to you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share as much as you can. You don't know who this video might be helpful to. If you're interested in watching the cutting and sewing tutorial of this wedding dress itself, click on the box on the right side of your screen. And if you're interested in watching the cutting and sewing tutorial of the inner of this wedding dress, which is the lycra, click on the box on the left side of your screen. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. In case you have any question, please ask me down in the comment section. I'll be more than willing to answer all of your questions, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.